is 10 o'clock and welcome to Lincoln Ware Live. We're here every Sunday morning from 10 until 11. I want to thank Sensible Don who filled in for me last week. I was down in Jamaica getting a little sun and relaxation. Had a great time, but thanks Sensible Don for filling in for me last week. As promised, we've got a great show lined up for you today. I'm a little hoarse from yelling at the Macy's Music Festival for 2 nights in a row. So bear with me, please. My first guests, Sandra, Reese, and Patricia Bryant from the Life Skills Center. Now, this is a great school, and Sandra, tell us a little bit about the Life Skills Center. It's not for everybody. Who is it basically for?
Well, the Life Skills Centers are for students between the ages of 16 to 22. Who for many reasons, some students who were in their traditional schools, it wasn't working for them. And for some students who are 18 and older, going back to school to get that high school diploma and not the GED.
Right, because it's tough, you know, once you've been out of school, a lot of these kids have been out of school for a year maybe.
Exactly.
It's tough to get started again.
Exactly.
And so if they can come back to the Life Skills Center and, you know, get that. Now, what type of courses do you have? What do you do at the Life Skills Center?
Well, the Life Skills Center is computerized school. All of the subjects are taught on computer. Students who have special modified programs, however, such as an IEP, which is an individual educational plan, students will work out of their workbooks. But all subjects, which is mandated through the Ohio Department of Education. All of our subjects are required subjects that the Ohio Department of Education requires. So they have their core courses. And there are elective courses that students can earn as well. A student must earn 20 credits, academic credits, and work credits, which is 3 months, 150 hours of work experience. Students must work because we're life skills.
Right.
We try to teach students skills that they can take with them for the rest of their lives and pass on to their offspring.
And they should do more of that in regular public schools, it seems like, you know, but they don't. 381-3838, 651-3838 if you've got questions. Maybe you know of a young lady or a young man who maybe dropped out of school and maybe they need that extra push to get them back to get that diploma. Maybe they only need 1 more year, maybe they need 2 years, but the Life Skills Center may be for them. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back and we'll discuss more about the Life Skills Center right here on Lincoln Ware Live. We'll be back in just a moment and we'll talk to you. We'll talk to one of the students from the Life Skills Center. How about that? Back in just 1 moment. And we are back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program. Coming up on the second half of the show, I've got Joe Mallory coming in here to talk about his Smooth Jazz Festival coming up next Saturday in Forest Park. We'll talk a little bit about that on the second half of the show. We've got Sandra Reese, director of the Life Skills Center, and student Patricia Bryant. Patricia, how did you end up at the Life Skills Center?
Well, I started coming at the Life Skills Center December of '07. I started coming because I have a 2-year-old little boy, and it was more convenient for me to start going with a 3 to 4 hour school day than 8 hours, considering I go to work and go to school too.
Okay. So you dropped out of conventional school? You dropped out? Okay, and how long were you out?
I actually, as soon as I got out of school at Rain, I transferred immediately right over to Life Skills.
Okay. Now, when will you graduate?
I look to graduating in January.
January, okay. So Life Skills do they have 2 graduations per year?
Actually, we do. We have a graduation in June, which we just had our graduation, and we have a graduation in January.
Okay.
And what most people aren't aware is that we have 53 schools operating. We have schools in Akron, well, in Ohio, Akron, Arizona, Colorado, Florida. So and in those areas are many of the schools. We have elementary schools, junior high schools, as well as our high school.
Now this is, and you don't have to pay to go there, do you?
You do not have
You
to
don't have
pay.
to
The only thing that is a required fee is a $10 processing
Okay,
fee.
okay.
Our students wear uniforms. They have life skills t-shirts that is required. My main function with the life skills is the family advocate social worker. My job is to work with the students who may be experiencing obstacles and or barriers that get in the way of their education.
Right, right.
The main goal for attending our school is to get the high school diploma. But there are many different things that happen in an individual's life that interferes with that. It's an obstacle. And the first thing young people are willing to give up, well, I can't go to school. Well, no, let's get over those obstacles. Let's learn how to get over obstacles in your life and move toward the mark, the goal.
What's the maximum age you can be to attend life skills?
You must be between the ages of 16 to 22. By 23, you have to have graduated.
Okay, okay. Now, so a lot of these guys probably have been incarcerated, maybe,
Yes.
and then they come out and they still can go to life skills.
Yes, they can, and receive a high school
Okay.
diploma.
All right. 381-3838, that's the number if you want to jump on board. We'll talk to you. Let's go to Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman, how you doing this morning? You have a question?
No, I don't really have a question. I have a thank you for life. My granddaughter said she graduated in 07, and I very appreciate that.
Okay, your phone is sort of breaking up, but you say you're who graduated from life skills?
My granddaughter, Denisha Brown,
Okay.
graduated from Life Skills, and I want to thank all the people that taught her everything that she needed to know about getting out here, getting her life together, and staying out of trouble, not being incarcerated.
Yeah, and you know, that's the key thing. In the regular public schools, they don't give you those life skills to take with you. You know, they just go ahead and teach you to pass that Ohio graduation test, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yes, I understand that, but once again, I'd like to thank Life Skills very much.
All right. Hey, thanks for your call, Ms. Coleman.
Thank you.
All right, 381-3838, 651-3838. If you want to jump on board, the area code is 513. And if you know somebody that you want to watch this show that, you know, this is on Channel 38, but if they can't get Channel 38 for some reason, they can log on to WBQC.com, WBQC.com, and they can watch the program live on the internet, WBQC.com. Let's go to Deborah. Deborah, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
You have a question?
Yeah, I did. Do you have to be in Hamilton County to attend one of the life skills schools?
No, you do not. We are a charter school, so therefore we have students coming from Reading, Forest Park.
Well, that's Hamilton County. Maybe talking about in Butler County, if you live in Hamilton or Fairfield or somewhere like that.
If you live in Fairfield, because we have several schools in Ohio. We have schools in Dayton, Ohio. We have schools in Middletown. We have schools in Springfield, Columbus. So when you are interested in a student coming, you can call the 1-800 number.
And they'll tell you the
and
school
they will
is
connect
closest.
you
Okay.
to the school that's closest to your neighborhood.
Okay, great.
Give that
Okay.
give that an 800 number out if you have it handy.
Yes, it's 1-800-525-7967.
Okay, great.
Hey, thanks for your call.
Thank you.
All right, 381-3838, 651-3838. Stephanie, you're on Lincoln Ware Live. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to congratulate the young girl there. I'm sorry, I forgot her name.
Patricia.
Patricia, I want to congratulate you. I dropped out of
you.
school and had a baby also.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Ma'am, I have a question. I have a 16-year-old son. He'll be 16 Wednesday. And he's bipolar, ADD, and, you know, with the No Child Left Behind law, they just keep passing him on. And he was expelled and suspended. So really the last full grade that he completed was the 6th grade, and now he just failed again for the 8th grade. I put him on the computer on ECOT. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before.
Yes, I have. Yes.
And it just didn't seem to work for him. But for him to sit in a classroom, I really have a lot of trouble with him. And I just, you know, he needs more help in the classroom that they could give him in the regular schools. So would this be a good program for my son?
Well, I guess you have to be 16 years of age to get there. Is that correct?
16
Yeah.
years of age. And has your son ever had an IEP, which is an individual educational plan?
Yes, he had one back in the 5th grade. Yes.
What you would do if you are interested in your son attending a life skill center, upon enrollment, you need to mention and bring that last IEP. We work with our students in that area to have a modified curriculum. Students also are tested when they come in, so we can see what level are they on, where do we need to modify, what subjects do we need to start them with first. We also offer tutoring, and we have an intervention specialist where students with modified curriculums are pulled away from the mainstream labs. We call our classroom labs. And we have 2 intervention specialists that will work with that student on a one-on-one.
Okay, because that's what he really needs. He's got in a rut where he just, he used to be looking forward to college,
Exactly.
and now he's just like, Mom, I just can't, I don't even know what I'm going to do when I start school again.
Our young people get discouraged very, very
Oh, yeah.
quickly.
Yes.
All right, Stephanie, thanks for your call.
Can I ask one more thing?
Sure.
I'm in Winton Terrace, so do you know what area there would be a school?
Well, the Winton Terrace, we have students in the Winton Terrace area that attends our school, which is located at 7710 Reading Road.
Okay.
We also have the Gilbert Avenue location, and you can call either school for information on, and decide which would be better for you. A lot of our students from Winton Terrace attend our location.
Okay.
And our number is area code 513-821-6695.
6695?
Yes.
Okay, and is there a bus? Is there bus situations and everything?
Students who attend our schools, their district schools in their communities will provide their bus cards.
Okay.
Cincinnati Public School Transportation Department provides the bus cards. For our students who are out of Cincinnati Public School District, parents drive or they ride the bus if they can. We help our students to a certain extent by providing bus tokens, but the life skills centers usually do not provide transportation.
But you live in a Cincinnati Public School District in Winton
Yes.
Terrace, so you'd
So
be
you
covered.
would be eligible for he would be eligible for a Cincinnati Public School bus card.
Now, can the children eventually get up in their right grade?
And that's another unique thing. We do not go by grades, we go by credits.
Oh, okay.
So that's another thing. If you have an 18-year-old who has credits for 9th grade, that's a downfall to have that student labeled 9th grader.
Yeah, yeah.
We go by credits. That's another way of life skills of building a self-esteem.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And I want to thank you, and again, thank you, Lincoln.
All right,
and
Steph.
Thank
congratulations. Again,
you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your call, Steph.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, boy, she had a lot of questions, didn't she? Anyway, now, Patricia, did you ever think you wouldn't go back to school after you got pregnant? You probably said, I'm just going to have this baby and forget about school, because how am I going to find somebody to keep the baby? Or what? What were you thinking?
Actually, it encouraged me to go back to school. It really did encourage me to complete school, and I have looking forward to college after I graduate.
Okay.
So I do plan on finishing and graduating and going to college.
All right, let's move along. Let's go to LaTanya.
Hi.
LaTanya, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's good to hear from you, Lincoln. You brighten my day every time I listen to you
Well,
and
that's
watch
good.
you on TV.
Well,
I'm
that's
telling
good.
you.
I'm glad I can brighten somebody's day.
Yeah, you tickle me. Anyway,
Just call me Tickle Me Elmo.
well, anyway, I'm calling to ask about the life skills. You mentioned the IEP. Now, I know all students aren't on the IEP, but for those students who do have an IEP, does that exclude them from taking the OGT? And do you all give the OGT test to those students in order for them to graduate? And another question, some students may work. Do you have day and night classes? How does that work?
Thank you.
Good questions, LaTanya. Thanks for your call.
All right.
All right.
To answer your first question, students who are on IEPs, what was our question?
You know, and I can't think of what, I thought you were listening.
Yeah, I was
Let's go to-
listening. I got a little.
Okay, Latanya, call back with that. The
Yes,
second
call back.
question was evening classes.
We have sessions. We have 3 sessions. Right now in the summer months, however, for the first time, we're trying out 2 sessions.
Okay.
Students first session is 8 a.m. to 12. If you are a working student, and can show that you are working, and then because that's a requirement,
Okay.
students are let out an hour early. So workers are let out at 10:45.
Okay.
Second session starts at 10 a.m. and is till 2.
Okay.
Third session is 12:30 to 4:30. Our particular location does not at this time offer evening schools. However, the Walnut Hills location has in the past offered evening schools. And the closer it gets to graduation for our seniors, we also offer Saturday school. And students can come and try to,
Make
get those things going so they can be on target.
That's pretty good. So you actually, I mean, you really work with the students to
Oh,
help
yes.
their situation, individual situation. If you need, if you can't, your babysitter can't keep your baby except in the mornings, then you can start a later session.
And that's another unique thing. I run the grads program within our schools, and that is working with our parents because there are obstacles for our parents, and to let students know that you are a parent, be proud of that, and now learn the parenting skills that you need to pass on to your children. So we have parenting. I work with Ms. Bryant, and I refer to the community. I connect the students to community services. I help them with child care and connecting them to child care, signing off on forms to show that this student is coming to school. So that's just another avenue to help our students.
All right, we need to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and wrap things up, and we'll take more phone calls, 381-3838, 651-3838. And on the second half of the show, Joe Mallory, he will even answer your Board of Election questions as a registration for voting. So stick around for Joe Mallory. We're back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program, and coming up on the second half of the show, don't forget Joe Mallory. Actually, he's from the Board of Elections, but he'll be here to promote a big event coming up in Forest Park on Saturday, the Smooth Jazz Festival that he has every year. It's free and open to the public, and he'll tell you a little bit more about that, plus on how you should get registered to vote for the November election and absentee balloting and things like that. So Joe Mallory coming up next. And Latanya, we've got an answer to your question. That question was?
All students are required by state law to take the OGT test, which is Ohio graduation test. If a student is an IEP student, however, and that modified curriculum requires assistance when taking the test, we will provide that assistance.
All right, let's go back to the telephones. Got a few more minutes left here. Let's go to Rose. Rose, how are you?
Hello?
Rose, turn your TV down, Rose.
Oh, I'm not listening to the
Okay,
TV.
go ahead.
Okay, my question, I was just calling in because you had forgotten the question that the lady answered, and she just answered it.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
All right.
All right, thanks for your call. Well, why does she continue to hold? Okay, let's go to Tanya. How you doing?
Hi, how you doing today?
Pretty good.
I was calling because I know 4 kids that went to life skills, but they didn't finish the program, and I'm just wondering, it feels like the life skills is a step to just dropping out of school. You know what I mean?
Well,
So what do you tell like when the kids go to life skill, can they transfer their credits back to a high school?
Yes, we do.
If they don't want to finish the program?
Okay, let her answer that.
If a student, it's the same as if a student should come to our school. The transcripts must follow the student so we can know exactly where the student needs to begin. If a student, for whatever reason, feels that life skills is not for them and they want to return to their traditional schools, the school office, records office, requests the transcripts. And those grades do follow the student.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay,
Thanks
thank you.
Thanks for your call. Now, how many students will graduate coming up here?
We wait till the last minute because some students need that pressure, that little fire, and we'll see, oh wow, I only have 2 credits to go. I better get busy. January, we're looking at, I'm saying 75, 80.
Okay, that's good.
And I'm not sure about Walnut Hills, but between the two of us, we have graduated over 1,100 students.
No kidding. Well, that's great because, you know, that's a big issue nationwide, kids dropping out of schools.
Yes.
And if life skills can be that gap between dropping out of regular public school and, you know, getting your diploma through life skills, I mean, that's all fine and dandy.
Exactly. And it's important that the community understands we're here to help young people, give them another hope. Because traditional school sometimes isn't for everyone. And when you're dealing with 18 and older, some of my students are running their own homes, the same as you and I. Some of our students have families, they work full-time jobs, but they still need and want that high school diploma. We are all year-round school. You can enroll any day, and you come up, there's a
So enrollment is open any day,
you
just enroll any time.
However, from the 8th through the 4th, we're on vacation.
Okay,
so,
okay.
We do give the students a week off.
All right. Well, give the 800 number again so that people can call to get...
It's 1-800-525-7967.
Give it one more time.
1-800-525-7967.
And we've got it up there on the screen. So, but I want to thank you for joining us today, and hopefully people will know someone that needs to go to life skills, you know, to get that diploma, no matter if they've had a baby, been incarcerated or something. And Patricia is a prime example. She's about ready to get her diploma and move on with life.
Right.
All right. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me, Sandra.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take a break, and then we'll come back and hear what Joe Mallory has to say about the Smooth Jazz Festival coming up next Saturday. We'll be back right after these important messages on Lincoln Ware Live. And we're back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program. And as promised, Joe Mallory. And Joe, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Lincoln.
And every year, how many years have you had the Smooth Jazz Festival?
This is the 7th annual.
7th annual Smooth Jazz Festival. It happens at a big park out in...
It happens at Central Park in the city of Forest Park at Winton and Kemper Roads, right behind the municipal building.
And it's free, open to the public?
It's free. You know, we want the public to come out and enjoy some free, good music, some live entertainment. We even have something for the kids called Kids Art of Jazz, and they're in a tent and they create musical instruments and some kind of artwork with a jazz and musical theme.
Now, I've attended these festivals, and people bring their tents, they bring their lawn chairs, their coolers, and it's just a fun time.
It is a great, you know, we've never had any incidents. We have good music. This year we have an awesome lineup. We have Warren Hill, who's an extraordinary saxophone player, and one individual we just added to the lineup, Bryant O'Neill. He performed last night at the Macy's Festival with Kim.
Okay. So this is a big event, and you also have Eddie Love.
Eddie Love Big Band. Eddie Love Big Band. He's got about 12 guys in his band, and they're going to perform first. They're opening up the show, and we have a local group called At Ease, and we added Bryant O'Neill. And also, you know, Warren Hill's the headliner. But hold it, one of the main artists who's going to be performing is Gilbert Young.
Yeah, and
he's an artist.
He's an artist, right.
So while they're performing, he's painting the performance, you know, by the inspiration he's getting from the music. He's dancing around, he's painting, and at the end of the concert, we have an original painting that he's got.
Boy, I tell you, this event is growing bigger and bigger every year. Now, what time does it start?
This year, 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock p.m.
Okay.
And a lot of people do come early and they set up their tents.
Yeah, you got to stake out your ground there, you know.
And we allow them, you know, we know that the economy is tough, and we allow them to bring their own food. You know, if they don't bring their own food, they can purchase some food, but they can bring their own food, lawn chair, blanket, or tent, you know, and just set up, and we want everybody to come out and enjoy a good time.
That's this coming Saturday. And what's the location again?
It's Central Park in the city of Forest Park. They get more information from projectartreach.org.
Okay. Now, you've got every year your sponsors seem to grow and grow. You want to mention some of your sponsors?
Well, we have the Mojo is doing our radio, and we have the Herald, the Cincinnati Herald. We have Fifth Third Bank, Time Warner Cable, and Healthcare for One is our title sponsor. And City of Forest Park and Hamilton County Park District, they're our partners, and they've been with us from the beginning, and they help support us with this concert.
Now, your only job is not just a promoter. You do have a day job.
Well, this is just something to give back to the community,
right.
And some entertainment. Right. But I work for the Board of Elections as an elections administrator.
And speaking of Board of Elections, this is probably one of the biggest elections coming up in November than we've had in a long, long time.
Oh, this is an unprecedented election because we don't have an incumbent. We have an open election. And we have some candidates that are creating a lot of interest. We expect an 80% turnout.
Wow.
And we're trying to encourage everyone to vote early because absentee voting opens on September 30th. You can request an absentee ballot.
Really? That early?
September 30th, we start mailing out the ballots. They can vote in the comfort of their own home, educate themselves, take their time, and mail their ballot back to us.
And the rules have changed for absentee voting. You don't have to be sick or in the hospital or out of town. Anybody can vote absentee.
That's the beauty of it. It is so easy. You can download one of our forms from votehamiltoncounty.org, or you can call the Board of Elections at 632-7000 and request an absentee ballot. We'll mail you a ballot out. You mail it back to us. We send you a ballot. We send you your application. We mail your ballot back to you. Mm-hmm. You vote, send it back to us, and we count. Those are the first votes that we count on Election Day. Everyone thinks that we don't count them till after.
You count
we count them first.
Okay. And the phone number, Board of Elections, 632-7000. We may be able to get that up on the screen. 632-7000 for the Board of Elections. Now, answer this question about can felons vote in Ohio? And answer, it's so much confusion toward where if felons can vote or not. Please clear up all the confusion.
That's one of the urban legends. Everyone thinks that they've been convicted of a felony, that they can never vote again, but that is not true. They can vote. All they have to do is be a registered voter. They fill out an application, they submit it to the Board of Elections, and they're registered. If you're incarcerated, you cannot be a registered voter.
Right.
But there are people who are awaiting trial for a felony, and they can still vote. They can vote absentee while they're in jail. We send the ballots to the jail the day of the election day, and they vote.
If you're just in jail waiting for your trial,
awaiting your trial,
you can vote.
You can still vote.
Okay.
But once you've been convicted of a felony and
you're
you're
in jail,
incarcerated,
you can't vote.
You can't vote.
But the day after you get out of jail, after serving your sentence, you can register to vote and vote in November if you get out before the deadline.
Here's another thing. If you've been convicted of a felony, but the judge doesn't put you in jail, you're not incarcerated, you get convicted, you get time on the shelf, this is what we call it, time on the shelf, you can still vote as long as you're a registered voter.
All right, so that clears up all the misconceptions on felons voting here in the state of Ohio. So the day you get out of jail, even if you were convicted for armed robbery or whatever, the day that you get out of jail, you can register to vote in Hamilton County.
And the registration deadline is 30 days prior to Election Day.
So it would be
October the 5th.
Okay. All right. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back and answer some of your questions on the Smooth Jazz Festival and on voter registration. 381-3838, 651-3838. Back in a moment. We are back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program. Joe Mallory is my guest. I was getting ready to call you Dale Mallory because a person named Dale is on the phone, but this is Dale's brother, okay? Anyway, we've got Charles and Dale holding on. Now, you say everyone will receive an application for an absentee ballot. That's coming in the mail.
Yes, we mail those out September the 5th. It's called a 60-day notice. We send you a form that shows you where you go to vote, what your districts are, and your polling location, that's where you go to vote. And then there's an application inside of that. You fill it out and mail it back to us.
And so you will receive that. So it shouldn't be any problem. And you're encouraging people to vote absentee.
I'm encouraging everyone because we expect and anticipate a 2 or 3 page ballot. And that means if we have an 80% turnout,
Oh,
there are going to
man,
be
the
some
line-
long lines.
oh, goodness.
You know, if
Oh.
you make a mistake, you got to take it back, you know,
Oh,
spoil your
man.
ballot. There's a lot of things involved, and we want everybody's vote to count.
Yeah. So I would say vote absentee. And what about the provisional ballots? If you show up at the wrong polling place, if you've been voting there for years and you moved, but you say, okay, I'm going back or whatever. What about that?
We want everyone to vote in the polling location where they're registered. Whatever address you are, you're assigned to a certain precinct in the polling location. If you don't vote at that precinct, your vote will not count. We don't even open those envelopes. And it's easy to find out what your polling location is now. You can call our office, you can look online and put your address in, and it will tell you what your polling location is. But you need to make sure that your registration information is updated, because if it's not updated and you go to the wrong place, it won't count. We don't even count those until 10 days after the election's over with.
All right, so there you have it. Make sure, and when you get that form in the mail, will it have your polling place on there?
Yes.
Is that gonna
Well,
have
the notices we send out,
Yeah.
and that's the purpose of them, is
Right.
to let you know where you go to vote, what districts you're in, and all that type of stuff.
All right, let's go to the telephones. Everybody's got a question. Let's go to Dale. Dale, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Pretty good. Well, what's your question?
well,
Turn your TV down.
Thank you. It's really not a question. I just wanted to say to Joe, this is Dale, the killer's wife. I don't
Okay,
know
hi,
if you
Dale.
remember me or not. But I just want to say we're looking forward to the concert. We go every year. You do a great job. Last year, my daughter came in from New York to visit, and we will not go visit her until we go to the concert. We're going to go to the concert, and then we leave out to go to New York to visit her. It's a fantastic event.
It
We
is.
look forward to it. And I just want to tell you, you do a great job, Joe. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you. As
All
long as we
right.
get support from the community, we'll continue to do it.
All right, thanks, Dale. Let's go to Charles. Charles.
Yes, you're looking great, Mr.
What-
Lincoln Ware.
Well, thank you, Charles.
I have a question. Since they've added so many absentee voting, I kind of worry about this. Have they increased more the scrutiny and the policing for criminal activity in voting, where people vote they're not supposed to, voting twice, etc.? Have they done anything like that? Because it seems to me like there'll be a lot of that. And also, I wanted to ask, what kind of penalty if they catch you, having you and your dog both vote, through absentee balloting? What kind of a penalty would you get?
Well, there is, on the voter registration form, there is a disclaimer or a warning that anybody who falsifies or does anything illegal with filling out that form, it's a 5th-degree felony.
I know. I know that. But have they done any? I mean, how do you investigate that, though? I mean, they
That
get all
is,
these
the numbers,
votes in,
the
do they
numbers for
investigate?
the numbers for fraud are very low. They're so minuscule. It's not even a big issue.
How can you say that? That's what I want to know. Who does the investigating to be able to tell you that? Who told you that it's so low?
Well, they've got systems in place where it's pretty much real difficult to do.
We have individuals like you. If you suspect someone is not a registered voter or lives in a certain state, you can file a challenge, and then we have a hearing and we go out and investigate it.
Well, what if I want to do it myself? Vote 2 or 3 times. I mean, I'm not going to report it.
Well,
how would they investigate me?
When we receive your ballot, we have a computer system. Everything is documented when we send the ballot out. I mean, you can give us a fictitious name, but then, when we catch you, you're going to go to jail.
Well, I could take my vote and give it to somebody else, let them vote and send it in,
Well,
and how would
anybody
you
can
know
do that if you do it absentee. I mean, as long as we receive one ballot back, we don't know who's voting the ballot. We trust that the voter who requests a ballot is doing the actual voting.
It's all in trust, and you don't
Well,
really check
one vote, one man.
I know that. I understand that, but I'm saying, say I send in, you send me the papers, and some guy that's already voted, I say, here, use mine, and send this in, you'll vote twice. He fills it out and sends it in. Does anybody can check that? Because if you go down there, it'd be hard to do.
If he puts his name on the ballot, it's gonna be kicked back, I guess.
He's talking about if he gives somebody else, that's on him.
Yeah.
We don't have a crystal ball where we can see those types of things that happen.
Right. In other words, they couldn't check it.
I mean, if anybody wants to do something wrong, they can do it. That's for sure.
Okay, well, that's what I was worried about, because there's going to be a lot of votes coming in there, and I imagine a lot of them are going to be played around with, too.
Vote
But anyway, enjoy the show. You learned something.
Thank you, Charles. Vote early and often.
No, not often. Not often. Only once.
Let's go to Tina. Tina, how you doing?
Good morning, Lincoln, and good morning to your guests.
Good morning, Tina.
I did want to clear that up because I moved last year, and they're just sending my voting card, and I'm getting ready to move again next month. should I vote absentee to make sure that I get in there?
We are encouraging everyone to vote absentee. That's the easiest way to deal with it. But, update your information. You can request your ballot by mail, and that is the easiest and the most painless way to do it.
Because I guarantee you, wherever you show up, there's going to be some issues there. Probably you're going to have a driver's license with a different address on it than your polling place requires. If I were you, absentee, and that solves all your problems.
Okay, that's what I'll do. Now, will I be able to go down to the voting headquarters and put that in?
Yes, you may.
That's the best way. That's what I did last year. Now, my other question is not relating to what you're talking about. You are a promoter, correct?
Excuse me?
Well, he just promotes this concert every year. He doesn't bring in three and four shows every year.
This is a community event. I don't get paid a dime.
Non-profit. It's non-profit, and it's just something he does. I just called him a promoter. Say what?
I'm looking for a promoter.
Okay. Well,
and,
call me at
it's for the Cincinnati area.
Call me at 679-6028, and I'll give you the names of a couple of promoters.
Okay, say that again.
679-6028.
Okay, I'll call you.
Right, and I'll give you the name of some promoters that advertise different shows at the radio station.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right, thanks for your call. Bye. All right, let's go to Paul. Paul, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, Lincoln?
Okay.
All right. Hey, I have a problem about registering the voters. The problem is why they close the voting polls at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's the problem.
What state are you in?
I'm in Ohio.
Well, we don't close the polls till 7:30 p.m.
Well, I went down to Winton Terrace to have my daughter to go vote, and they closed the voting polls at 4:35 the last election. And I look, I like, what's going on with this picture?
Are you sure the place was ever open that day?
Yes, it was open when I passed it. But the people that was inside operating it, they came out and said, wait a minute, we're going to close the doors for like a minute. But the doors didn't open up for almost an hour. So they turned voters away to vote.
Well, that's the first I heard. And if something like that happened, we'd get a lot of phone calls. That's the first I've heard of something like that.
And you say this was in Winton, where at in Winton Terrace?
On Winnesty. The voting poll on Winnesty.
Is that Mother Christ Church?
I'm not familiar with the neighborhood. I just know it's down the bottom of the hill going towards Craft. My daughter lives on Craft.
Okay.
Like I say, so
You'll check into that.
Because if you close the polls, how can we vote?
Yeah, you're right. Well, that shouldn't have happened, and somebody should have called, to complain about that. Evidently, they didn't, but he'll check it out. Thanks for your call.
Thank you, sir.
All right, 381-3838, 651-3838. Don't forget this coming Saturday in Forest Park, the location.
The Central Park and the City of Forest Park at Winton and Kemper Roads.
Jazz great Warren Hill.
Warren Hill. And you can go to projectartreach.org or call 522-0200 for more information.
And it's free, open to the public. Bring your lawn chairs, your tents, your food, your beverage.
Leave your pets at home, please.
Yes, please, please, please. Jackie, how you doing?
Okay.
What's on your mind?
My thing is, that guy he made...
Hello? I think her phone just cut out on her.
3 times.
Wait, Jackie, say that again. Your phone cut out.
The guy made me mad, Charles, who called there talking about people voting 2 or 3 times.
No, Charles has got issues.
Unnecessary. That's all we need is something like that. That's up for Obama. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
wanted to know, was he some kin to the mayor?
Yes, my brother. Mark Mallory, yes, my brother.
Oh, I know you guys. I raised up with you all. Your parents have did a wonderful job. I commend you on what you're doing. If a lot of the teens take a minute to listen, some of the things they can do to just give back and to keep a straight head and focus.
All right, Jackie, your phone is breaking up, but thanks for your call anyway. Let's go to Stephanie. Stephanie, you have a question?
Hi, Lincoln. It's
How you
Stephanie from Winton Terrace again. I just
Yeah.
have one question this time.
Yeah.
I just wanted to find out, where do you get the signs for Obama that they put in the yards?
You can call the Democratic headquarters for that information. That's a party question.
Do you have that number?
It's in just call information, Democratic Party headquarters, or go to any Obama campaign headquarters. I think there's one in College Hill. I think there's one in Walnut Hills. You can call the Democratic Party.
Okay, Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your comment.
Bye-bye.
All right. And yeah, this will be a big election. I mean, you're expecting an 80% turnout?
An 80% turnout
Oh,
for
my.
this election.
I mean, normally we get 30%, you know.
But
But
it's a historical election, and, you know, we have, you know, no one is a current sitting president, so we have an open seat now, and we expect a lot of people to turn out just because, you know, Obama's running, you know, African-American, first time African-American has a opportunity, you know, a viable chance.
people
you know,
who
to get a
probably have never
nomination.
voted before, never even registered to vote, are registering, and they're going to vote
Right.
this November. So
And then you have the McCain supporters who, you know, they're going to be coming out because they don't want to lose the majority.
yeah. All right, let's take a break, and we'll come back and wrap things up with Joe Mallory, talk about the Smooth Jazz Festival coming up next Saturday, and voter registration. Get those absentee ballots and then send them in. Back in just one moment. And we're back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program. Joe Mallory is my guest from the Board of Elections. If you've got ballot problems, ballot questions, give us a call, 381-3838. If you want to find out more information on the Smooth Jazz Festival 1 week from, well, actually this coming Saturday, give us a call. We'll answer those questions also at 381-3838. That's the number. What is the most frequently asked question? You know, Board of Election question. You know, what's the biggest question you get when people call down there?
Well, one of the biggest questions, they want to know their polling location. They want to know what the voter registration deadline is. And then they have questions about absentee voting.
Okay.
Not necessarily in that order, but
Yeah,
those are the frequently asked ones.
All right. So
Am I
the
registered?
deadline for voter registration is?
October the 5th.
Okay.
And then absentee voting opens on September the 30th. We start mailing ballots out for people to vote.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to the telephones. 381-3838. Miss Coleman, how are you?
I'm blessed, and you?
Good.
That's good. I'm calling to get the number for voters registration,
The number for the what?
voting registration.
Okay. I guess she wants the number of the Board of Elections.
Yes.
632-7000.
Thank you.
It's right there on the screen. Right there on the screen, 632-7000. That's the number. If you're moving, I guess you can find out your new polling place, and you can, I guess, just notify them where you're moving to, and they'll send you out a...
Well, they can ask for a registration form and change their
Yeah.
address. That's what we
Right.
really want them to do. But I want to shift back to the concert. That's my real purpose
Right.
here today.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't mind answering the question about the voting. We're going to have a booth at the concert where we're going to have voter registration forms
Okay.
available, and we're going to have absentee applications available for the concert participants.
Okay, so you can do it all right there at the concert.
We're gonna, and then I am going to make sure that they get back down to the Board of Elections and get
Okay.
processed.
All right. So, and what about when you get your driver's license? You can...
The Bureau of Motor Vehicles, they have voter registration forms available as well.
Now, next year, you say you're going to even have a bigger artist next year.
Well, next year, we're going to have a major national recording artist on the Smooth Jazz in the Park Festival. And our date for the concert next year, put it on your calendar now, it's going to be August the 1st.
August
It's
1st.
always the first Saturday in August. We want to stick with that date so we can have some kind of continuity and have our regulars come back every year. We even kept a location the same. We used to rotate from one location to the next. You know, we used to go to Parky's Farm and then the Forest Park. So now we have a permanent home in the city of Forest Park at Winton and Kemper Roads. First Saturday in August, we want everybody to know that there's going to be some awesome musical entertainment available.
All
It's
right.
a family-friendly event.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. And like I said, you need to get there early to stake out your little ground there so you can see the stage. But you can see the stage from everywhere.
Right,
when
it's
you're
a
on the-
huge area. We
yeah.
have plenty of room for expansion. It starts at 6 o'clock, and when the sun goes down, that's when a lot of people start coming because they don't mind. They just want to hear the
Now,
music.
there's only one thing you can't do is bring a grill.
Well, yeah,
we need to mention that.
Yeah, we let you bring your own food, but it's got to be prepared before you get there.
Right. You can't bring the grill and start
because
cooking
we do
out.
have a partner that has vending available, and we allow you to bring your own food, but they also want to sell to people that want to purchase it.
So you can't bring your grill.
And there's no alcohol.
Right.
No alcohol.
Okay.
And no pets.
All right, Queen, how are you?
All right, and you?
Good.
How are you, Mr. Mallory?
Good morning, Queen. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Good.
I was calling to ask you, when you said you take care of the voting at the festival, does that mean any absentee vote or just the ones that's there?
Anybody who's a Hamilton County resident or even the state of Ohio.
No, I'm talking about as far as you're taking it, giving it to you.
Well, you can't give him the ballot there. He'll give.
It's an application. We have an application for you to
request. No. I'm always voting absentee, so they go, oh, now that's tomorrow, isn't it? I mean, next week, Saturday.
Yes.
So it's not out yet.
No.
Right.
Okay, I'll take that package and keep me from calling in.
Okay, thanks for your call. Joe, I want to thank you for dropping by today.
I appreciate it.
Once again, next Saturday, what time?
6 o'clock to 11 o'clock p.m. We have Warren Hill, extraordinary saxophone player, Eddie Love Big Band, Brian O'Neill, and At Ease. It's going to be an awesome lineup.
Gilbert Young will be there drawing all this.
He's on stage, painting. Actually, he did a painting of Obama.
Really?
And Obama signed it.
Really?
So it was a nice, Gilbert might have it available or something at the concert. So everybody come up and talk to Gilbert Young. He's a Cincinnati resident who's moved to Georgia. But every year he comes back and gives back to the community. He paints this painting, and some of the proceeds from the painting sale goes to Project Artreach, which is a nonprofit organization. This concert is free, but we do need support to keep it going.
All right. Thank you, Joe, for joining us. Coming up at noon today, William Hurt, the Samayan Line, rebroadcast of this show at 10 o'clock. Okay. Following the CFL football game at 7. And don't forget www.projectartreach.org. And that's their website, so you can check that out. Until next week, next Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, this is Lincoln Ware from Lincoln Ware Live. Once again, I want to thank Sensible Don for filling in for me last Sunday morning. Thank you, Sensible Don. And until next week, we will see you right here on It's 38. And don't forget, you can watch this show online, too, at WBQC.com. We'll see you next Sunday morning right here at 10 o'clock. Until then, goodbye.